Hi, I'm Rezab. This is Social Media Minute. Internal social networks are something that most companies actually need one way or another. Now, in the past, companies would build complicated intranets, they would build internal systems, they would license heavy platforms and services. But today, that's not necessary anymore. You don't need to build your corporate social communication channel. You can go ahead and license one of the Yammers and Podios. And there are basically two types of these social networks. And in some cases, you can even use them in parallel. There's the social network, internal social network, like Yammer, Podio, even Chatter from Salesforce. We, for example, at Social Bakers, we use Podio and we use Salesforce Chatter for some of the client-related messaging. And on top of that, there are like social messaging chat apps such as Slack, which we also use quite avidly in Social Bakers, especially the product and technology teams. Now, there are different use cases to these platforms naturally. So, for example, Podio at Social Bakers, we originally started using Facebook as kind of an internal social messaging platform. But we quickly understood that we have to structure this in groups. We have to really build some rights management, some, who sees what. And so we started using Podio, which we built very specific groups in that we now have specific conversations. We have office groups, which there are office debates, HR debates, invites to different events. We have specific product groups and sales groups to which all people are basically part of that. And product news gets distributed, sales news, big client wins gets distributed there. And then there are different SWAT groups that get launched and then, specific team comes in, or they get removed once that specific team stops being necessary. And this setup of such social networks allows a huge increase in productivity. The whole idea of this is email is eventually going to go away. We're all not going to be sending emails with 40, 50, 60 people on CC. That's the way of the past. Now it's more passive information, similarly to how social networking has changed our lives, that we don't go actively one-on-one with all of our friends. We send out passive information, and then when we meet, we kind of anticipate socially that that person has read the stuff. In a similar way, it will work in companies. You have to get actively informed by these more mass messaging. Of course, it has to be relevant and has to make sense, but it's a change of model of how people work and how companies internally communicate. And we are big believers that this is an absolute necessity to have. So guys, absolutely go and get an internal social network, whichever one it is. Obviously use some of these Slack, Messengers, Wunderlist, and all the software as a service platforms. They're essential to increase the productivity, communication, and sort of the overall aligning of the team. There's so many great ways you can use this. Start somewhere and build your way up there. I'm Rezab. This is Social Media Minute. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.